Now, I don't know about you, but I frequently run up against problems that I don't want to tackle. They're either things I haven't done before, they seem too difficult, or they involve something that is emotionally difficult. In these situations, I usually feel a sense of dread and a desire to procrastinate and do something easier or something that will make me feel better in the moment. Now, I want to tell you about your three brains. You have three brains inside of you: your monkey brain, your sage brain, and your robot brain. Your monkey brain wants ease and pleasure right now. Your sage brain wants better future prospects for you, and your robot brain takes over things from both your monkey and sage brain that you do a lot so that they become automatic in an effort to save energy. In this sort of situation, what is happening is an epic battle between your monkey brain and your sage brain. Your sage brain knows that you need to do hard things right now in order to have a better future, but your monkey brain doesn't care. Why build a better future if you can do something easy and fun right now? Your brain gives less weight to future prospects than it does to immediate prospects, so what happens? Your monkey brain usually wins and you get distracted. You do the easy thing and you never get around to actually building that better future. The key here, when you run up against this mental block of something difficult, is to trick your monkey brain by not focusing on the whole task. When you look up to the very top of the mountain and you imagine all of the steps and the pain it will take to get there at once, you compress it down, you compress the difficulty down into an instant, and it becomes overwhelming. Instead, you tell your monkey brain, hey, that's not what we're going to do here. We're only taking one step. One step isn't that hard. There's very little pain associated with it, and with that small switch, you avoid the overwhelm and you just focus on taking the first step. Then you focus on taking the next one and then the next one. Pretty soon, you're well on your way up the mountain and your monkey brain is none the wiser. You've probably heard something along the lines of, you eat an elephant one bite at a time. Well, this is how that works at a psychological level. By only focusing on the next step in your journey, you protect yourself from yourself. We have a tendency to overwhelm ourselves by considering all of the difficulty and possibility all at once, and that overwhelm prevents us from ever getting started. We do something like this when cleaning our kitchen at home. With four little kids, our kitchen gets very, very messy very, very quickly. And looking at the whole thing can feel overwhelming. So, what we do is we break it down into steps. The first step is to do the kitchen table. We clear off all the dishes, we put them in the island sink, and we wipe down the table. We get it to a clean and complete state. This task on its own doesn't usually feel overwhelming and it only takes a few minutes. But once it's clean, it feels really good and makes the rest of the dirty kitchen feel out of place, motivating us to keep going and do the rest. Then we clear off the counters around the stove, which is usually where we cook. All of the dishes on there get moved over to the island as well, and then we wipe the counters down and wipe down the stove. This also usually only takes a few minutes and doesn't feel very overwhelming, but it is very satisfying to now have 2/3 of our kitchen cleaned and looking good. Then finally, we tackle the island, which has our sink and our dishwasher. We rinse and load all of the dirty dishes, clean the pots and pans and knives and set them aside to dry, and then we wipe down the island counters and sink. This is definitely the longest and hardest part, but having built up momentum from the previous two tasks and seeing the contrast between the clean table and counters and the messy island, these things motivate us to finish and push through that last difficult part. So, breaking down the big task of cleaning the kitchen into three smaller and more manageable steps prevents that overwhelm that leads to paralysis and procrastination. Speaking of that, you can learn more about mastering your own focus and attention and help me create more of these videos by taking 3 small steps of liking this video, leaving a comment on it, and subscribing to the channel. Take them one at a time, and it could make a difference in someone else's life. Your like could surface this video to someone whose life will be changed, and your comment could inspire them in unique ways. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in our next chat.